The last video we did was about Navy Federal and the reasons why a lot of people are getting denied when they're trying to apply for loans, credit cards. And I told you guys the reason codes behind the scenes, the computer systems, the algorithms, they're paying attention to a whole bunch of different things, a lot of different variables, from inquiries to balances to how many accounts did you open up in the last 12 to 24 months. Whole bunch of stuff, right? And I told you guys that a lot of those things, a lot of those behind the scenes reasons, they're impacting whether or not we're able to get approved for these credit card products, right? And I went ahead and I broke a lot of those reasons down. And remember, if you watched that last video, I pulled up a screenshot of a Navy Federal denial letter, and we were reading line by line the reasons why Navy Federal is denying a lot of applicants, right? So I saw this new article, and it says the first Gen Z congressman is making $174,000 a year, but has such bad credit that a landlord just turned him down for his rental application. But like I said, I was going to make this video anyway, but someone made a comment, and let me see if I can go ahead and pull that comment up. So you can see here, this was on the Navy Fed won't deny you after this. And we had a comment, which I thought was a very good comment, because I think this is, a lot of people think like this, right? Warlord Graza, he said, multiple income will bypass most of that, or having a single high income. That's just technicism for low income applicant. Now, Warlord, from what I'm getting is you're basically saying everything, all those reason codes, those really only apply for people that don't have high income. And Warlord, if I'm not understanding your comment completely, I don't want to misrepresent what you're saying, go down in the comment, add some more detail if I'm missing it. But that's how I'm taking it. Basically, if you have high enough income, you're not going to run into these denial problems. So it seems like Warlord's comment isn't 100% accurate, because if you do have high income, we wouldn't be running into denials like this congressman is going through right now, or this congressman elect. So this article right here is going to be a great opportunity to figure out, are all the reasons that I'm detailing and naming, is that really just for people who have low incomes? What's the reason for this congressman who's going to make close to $200,000 a year and he's struggling to get an apartment? Let's go down into the details and let's figure out what's really going on behind the scenes with these reason codes. If you have a high income, is that going to be able to bypass you from a lot of these problems? Let's talk about all of that and more in this video right here, all right? You might have seen this guy on quite a few different channels, on the news, on social media. He's the first Gen Zer. He's about to be the congressman down in Florida. I believe he's 25 or 26, something like that. But he's super young. He's about to be a congressman. He's about to be sworn in a couple of weeks, right? So he quit his day job. He was hustling on the side with Uber, but most of his hours, 10 to 12 hours a day, he was just campaigning, hitting the streets, trying to get voters to go ahead and support him to become this congressman. He probably had so much max utilization. When he went to apply for an apartment, even though he's about to be a famous politician, he got denied. All right. So Frost said that he applied for an apartment after he gave a prospective landlord notice that his credit score was really bad. So he was upfront with the guy. He was upfront with the landlord. He basically told him, yo, my credit is not good at all. It's not great, but yo, I'm about to be this congressman. I'm about to make $174,000 a year. I'm a single guy. I'm pretty much good for it, right? He's giving his landlord a heads up, but he still got denied. Let's read the next paragraph. Frost said that the landlord told him that the application should get approved despite his poor credit score. However, Frost's application was still denied, and he subsequently lost the apartment and the application fee. He spent that money. A lot of people go through this. Your credit is challenged. You're trying to get an apartment. You're trying to get a place to stay. You pay this application fee, and you don't even get approved. That application fee basically just got flushed down the toilet. So now, why was this the case? Why is the landlord telling him, okay, you probably will be all right. Go ahead and apply anyway. Why is that not really accurate, right? Why is that landlord kind of BSing? In my opinion, kind of BSing here. It's because, and I have on the screen here, this is a website called rentprep.com. Let's say you own a home and you want to rent out your basement, or let's say you own a multi-complex, right? When somebody is trying to apply to live in one of your apartments, you're not manually going in and going into their Credit Karma personally and looking at every line yourself. Most landlords, they're not doing that. Everything is automated. And we've heard this before, automated underwriting. A lot of these landlords, they're using services like this where all they got to do is basically sign up. The applicant go to a website, they put in their information, they put in their social, all the information that everyone's probably used to already. And the landlord is going to get an email back. And this is an example of what it looks like. So you can see here for this rent prep screening website, you can see here that the applicant's ratings are going to be from 700 to 650 to 600. So they're already parsing you out and filtering you out by your FICO credit score. A 4-star rating would mean your applicant must have at least a 650 or higher FICO score. If your tenant applicant has a 650 or higher FICO score, you will see an additional report that will be added to your background check that looks like this. And it's basically just detailing all of the information, all of the background history about a tenant, right? If they do not meet those criteria, you will be told that they were denied and provided the reasons they did not pass. A declined report will show up in your applicant's report like this. Now, again, this is what the landlord is going to be seeing. The service is basically screening out all the little variables and all the reason codes and all that stuff that we always talk about on this channel. It's going to do it for the landlord, and the landlord's going to get a nice little easy to read report that says this applicant that just applied for your apartment, they're green, they're ready to go, or they're denied because of whatever the reasons, right? All right, so now let's scroll down a little bit more. And if you can zoom in here, right? So if somebody got declined for an apartment, boom, you can see here. What does this look like to y'all? If you've been subscribed to this channel for a little bit, or even if you just saw the last video we did on Navy Federal and the reason codes, you can see that you cannot escape the reason codes. The information that is being funneled through this software for rentprep.com is basically coming from TransUnion. TransUnion is basically powering this service. So if we zoom out here, again, I don't care if you're trying to apply for a Navy Federal flagship credit card. I don't care if you're trying to get an auto loan or you're trying to get approved for an apartment and you're about to be a famous congressman in Florida and you're making close to $200,000 a year. There's no escaping the reason codes. That's basically the point of this video. I don't care what you're trying to do. Your income is not going to just automatically skip you over these reason codes because this is automated. All of this is going to be automated. Now, what are some examples here? Proportion of balances to credit limit is too high on bank revolving or other revolving accounts, aka utilization. This stuff right here is going to impact every aspect of your life. Every single aspect of your life if you're living in America, right? I don't know how it is in other countries, but if you're living in America, unfortunately, we're going to talk about that in a second. The 3-digit FICO score and the algorithm behind what creates the FICO scores, you can't finesse your way around it. Not now. Not in 2022, 2023. You cannot finesse your way around it. These are the same sort of reasons where if you got denied from Navy Federal, you got similar reason codes. Remember I told you in the last video, I said Navy Federal, they didn't invent these reason codes. They're just using them. The credit bureaus and FICO and now Vantage, they have the information, they have the algorithm. The banks, the landlords, the mortgage companies, they're taking that information from the major 3 credit bureaus, and then they're using that information either against you or for you. Time since delinquent is too recent or unknown. Number of accounts with delinquency. Got to clean up your credit. Serious delinquency and public record or collection on file. Unless you plan on living out in a farm somewhere and you want to just unplug from society, you don't want to have any banking relations, or you don't want to have an auto loan, or you're never going to have a loan, you just want to live on a farm somewhere, y'all got to learn that these reason codes are for real. They're going to impact your life for real. So either you can complain about it, and someone told me in another comment, they said, dang, I don't know if I say the comment, but basically I don't think they were a fan of my delivery, or I don't know. But the gist that I got from that comment was like, Joel, why are you so harsh, right, on people who are having maxed out credit cards? It's real out here. It's tough out here. Listen, I'm not telling you guys that you're a bad person because you have a maxed out card. That's not the point of any of these videos. The point of these videos that I'm trying to do is hopefully, if I can continue to make enough content, if you're somebody like Maxwell Frost right here who is hustling, right, he's about to get a good job, I want you guys to pay attention to all of the things that are going to impact you when you try to get that auto loan, that mortgage, that loan for your business. Some of these you can't even get a cell phone if your credit's not on point, right? So many different aspects of our lives is being impacted and being affected. And either we can complain, we can cry about it, we can say, oh, woe is me, the system is rigged, oh my gosh, you can go that route, or you can just say, all right, this is the game that I'm in. This is the game that impacts everything, right? This is the game we're in. Let me learn the rules of the game and put myself in a better situation. There are ways where you can do certain balance transfer. There's certain ways where you can high utilization, right? It's a little bit more advanced, but there's ways that you can high utilization if you're knowing you're about to do an application in the next few months. We talked about this concept on a video where I talked about when to pay your credit cards. We talked about the due dates and the statement dates, that whatever your balance is on your statement cutoff date is what is going to get reported to the credit bureaus. And if you're creative enough, right? I'm not advising and not advocating for people to do, illegal things, but if you know the dates on when the credit card companies are going to report, there may be some ways where you can be creative, where you can play with the report dates, and you can kind of hide the utilization a little bit if you're trying to do an application. Again, the point is, I want you guys just to be aware of this. I want you guys to understand that these are the rules. If this man right here, who's a famous politician, who's about to make close to $200,000, can't get an apartment, we got to learn from that. All right, so let's go to his tweets. For those asking, I have bad credit because I ran up a lot of debt running for Congress for a year and a half. Didn't make enough money from Uber itself to pay for my living. So once again, he's living off his credit card. And then he mentioned that AOC went through something similar in 2018, and it's still a problem. I recognize that I'm speaking from a point of privilege because in 2 years' time, my credit will be okay because of my new salary that starts next year. We have to do better for the whole country, right? So a lot of things are going to be impacting a lot of the Gen Zers, a lot of the young millennials, pretty much everybody in America, right? You have rising interest rates on credit cards. You've seen how inflation has impacted pretty much everything. You can't even get a piece of chicken without looking at the price tag and scratching your head. Interest rates on credit cards and loan products are going up. Mortgage interest rates are going up. We've seen what the Fed already increased the interest rate a couple times already, right? So there's a lot of different things that are impacting how difficult it is for people just to make a living, to have a roof over their head. So whether we like it or not, the rules are in place. We can either complain or we can do something about it. We can be proactive about it. People are coming into model homes. People are getting on the phone with lenders, and they don't even understand what the hell is going on with their credit profile. And they're leaving frustrated. They're leaving in tears sometimes. They're leaving confused, angry. This is our opportunity to figure out what's going on. And if you're somebody that you're trying to make a purchase in the next 3, 6, 12 months, even if you're working with a very limited income, you don't have a lot to work with, there are still some practices and there are still some things that you can do to improve how you look in the eyes of a lender, in the eyes of a landlord, in the eyes of an automated machine that's going to approve you for a bank card. There are a lot of things that we can do. Yes, your utilization is one of the biggest things, but there are still other things that we can pay attention to. Even if your chances go from 50% to 75%, you still improve your chances. That's the point. I'm not saying you're going to get 100%. You're never going to get denied for anything. Try to make yourself look good as possible and then apply for this apartment or the mortgage or the credit card or the loan or refinance or whatever it is you're trying to do. Okay, guys, that is the end of my rant. Hopefully you got some gems from that. Hopefully you understand that your high income is not going to save you. It's going to help you. And even with people that are trying to purchase home loans, even if, again, I've seen people who had foreigners coming from other countries into the U.S. who have great income, but their credit score is pretty much non-existent. There are loan programs out there that you can take advantage of where you have to put down a substantial amount of down payment. But even in that situation, even in those situations, your interest rate is still going to be higher than someone who built up a credit profile with the same income and then try to get their loan. All right, you got the gist. Hopefully you got some gems from this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Have a blessed one. Have a safe one. I'll check you guys out in the next video. Peace.